Welcome, everyone. My name is Richard Taylor with Ideate Software, and thank you very much for joining me today for Look It Up using Ideate SpellCheck. So, Ideate SpellCheck is part of our Ideate Apps collection. Our Ideate Apps collection is a collection of 10 Revit productivity tools for all Revit users. Whether you're an architect, engineer, structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or construction professional, these tools are really sort of agnostic in the sense of they're doing, sheet and view actions. We have a Ideate X-ray, which allows you to understand why something's not visible. Our new Ideate Annotate, and of course today we're here to talk about Ideate SpellCheck. Ideate SpellCheck allows you to check project spelling very effectively and quickly. So today the 15 at 15 focus is always on our Getting Started guides, on our help system. So you can access the Getting Started guide from the main Ideate Apps help file, or you can access it directly from Ideate SpellCheck. So what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to switch over here to Revit. I'm going to call up Ideate SpellCheck just to show you where this is, right? So those are the ribbon panel there. Here's Ideate SpellCheck. There's always this little arrow pull down, which allows you to check for updates, but there's also this online help. When you select online help, it's going to go right out to our help page for Ideate SpellCheck. And you can see here, under there, you've got frequently asked questions and the Getting Started guide. So when you click on the Getting Started guide, it's going to step you through basically what I'm going to be doing today. All right, so let's switch back here to the PowerPoint presentation. And so let's just run through that Getting Started guide. So I access the Ideate SpellCheck through the Ideate Software ribbon panel. And so notice that there are different methods for selecting what you're going to check, whether it's all open sheets and views, sheets in the sheet list, or one of my favorites here is just by selecting the views and sheets. So here I'm actually selecting everything. It's a very small project. I'm going to go ahead and select to do the spell check, right? And then it's going to come up with some options for me where I can add that word to the dictionary, or I can change the word based on its recommendation, or I can ignore the word. So in a couple cases, I'm going to change that. So INS is going to be lines. I'm changing that. And then, look at one here that says TNKS. I can zoom to that element, as you see here, and I can then make the change. After I'm complete, I can select a report. I can save this. In this case, I'm just saving this text file on my desktop, right? And so it's telling me that basically I had 0 warnings, but I changed one word, topo surface, and I modified 3 elements, 3 words basically to make that change. And so where I modified that, if I go to the options under Revit, go to check spelling, notice that we have the main dictionary, the language we're using, and then we also have this custom dictionary. That's where the words will get added to. So notice there is topo surface there, and I could actually edit this, and I could add other abbreviations that I want that then Ideate SpellCheck would bypass. So it will add to that custom dictionary, or like I said, it will use words in the custom dictionary that you might added manually, right? So very simple, just going through and being able to select which sheets and views you would like to spell check in your Revit model. So, as you saw, I can check all sheets at once by selecting all the sheets, or I can go to the sheets and views and select which ones, or you're going to see in here in a second, I can actually do a search. I can check schedule or keynote legends, and I can zoom to the specific error. As you saw, if I click on like zoom to text, it's going to open up the best view, and then I'm going to be able to review that. In this case, like there was the plan view of where that change was made. Now, this next sort of bullet point is very important, is we can report on spelling errors even though we might not be able to change them. For those of you that are familiar with Ideate Sticky, we can bring in an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document or PDF. So primarily with the schedule information with Excel, we're going to be able to check that, but we always make the sort of the determination that really you should change that text back in the Excel file and update it there, which is that single source of truth. The same thing goes through or holds true with keynotes or other items that aren't able to be changed directly from Ideate SpellCheck because that's an external file that I'm reviewing. So let's take a look at that. So now we're going to again go back to Ideate SpellCheck, and I like the selected views, and here's where I'm going to search for all views that start with the word sticky because I have a bunch of schedules. So I'm going to pick two schedules here, this GuardCo and this HADCO, which are brought in from Excel. I'm going to then spell check those, and you can see that the warning here is the schedule is managed by Ideate Sticky. So I can make the change, but it might get overwritten if I update it from Excel using Ideate Sticky. So the best thing is to go to that particular Excel file and make the change there. But I just wanted to show you that I'm going to go through a couple different schedules here. I'm going to ignore the information, and then I can go and look at the report. And this is nice because the report is going to have exactly where those Ideate Sticky schedules are located, or the names of them. So you see here, there I've got the GuardCo and that was pretty quick, but the changes that were made, and I can review that. Now, I can also go and start spell check again, and this time I'm going to specifically do a keynote. So I've got a keynote here. I'm going to search for that, and it's under a keynote legend, and I'm going to say that that's what I want to spell check. And so again, notice it says the keynote, the text parameter is read only. So it's telling me that TJ, KKK, whatever that I purposely misspelled is obviously incorrect, but that I should go out to the keynote text file to make that change. But it is telling me, it's still checking keynotes, like I said, schedules and so forth for those error messages, and then giving me a report if I so desire. So it can certainly check information from within your main file and make changes, but then it can also look for sort of these external, like a sticky schedule or a keynote text file that might have a misspelling in it. So, for those of you that are have been working with Ideate SpellCheck for a while, you notice that we actually had 3 methods to start out with. We always had all open sheets and views, we had all sheets in the sheet list, and we had all schedules. Just recently, we added to check the selected views, and that was a customer enhancement that we made. So that's nice because, again, you can select which particular views or sheets you would like to do the spell check. So you don't have to have all those views open, for instance, or you don't have to have all the sheets be a member of a sheet list. You can just search and select the ones that you want. And I think this is so important. You can check schedules. A lot of times, like, you have all the view names, and the view names, like, we're not checking the view titles on a sheet. However, if you've got a schedule that shows all the view names, then we would check that as an example. So depending on the tag information, sometimes you might want to have that tagged information be in a schedule, and then we can check it for the spelling. So the custom dictionary, as I mentioned, as you saw real quickly, it's part of Revit. You go to the options under Revit and check spelling. And this is where you would choose your main dictionary of what you want, whether it's British English or American English, and then where that custom dictionary is located. And that's where any words that you add as you do a spell check will get added to that custom dictionary. And so the Autodesk main dictionary will be the default for Ideate SpellCheck, and then that custom dictionary will also be added and checked at the same time. And then you can have a building industry dictionary as well. And that's, again, all part of Revit. So we're very tightly integrated into the settings within Revit as well. So I'd like to go to the next slide here, and just I know Naveen put a real quick survey into the the chat panel. And basically, this is just kind of asking, what you'd like to see for the next session, and was this helpful for Ideate SpellCheck? So we'd really appreciate if you fill out that survey. Like I said, there's just a few questions, and it really helps us focus on these particular 15 at 15 sessions. And with that, I can't see all of them, Niveen. Were there any specific questions? I don't think so.
Someone's asking for an option that would spell check everything in the model.
Well, again, the easiest way to do that, there's kind of nuances, right? Like I said, there's actually text within schedules, there's text within tags, there's keynote text, there's text on a drawing. And I think the best way to do it right now is when you're in Ideate or when you're in Revit and you called up Ideate SpellCheck, this is what I would do is go to selected views, right? And basically choose everything, right? You have basically I want all 51 sheets, all schedules, right? Here, let's go ahead, and all 51 sheets. So that would give me basically everything. So I'm checking 332 views, 5 legends, 53 schedules, and 51 sheets. Um, and then at any time when I say, okay, save and close, now spell check that, right? It's going to go through and I can choose to like, okay, well, there's actually 441 views. I can skip the view that it's on, right? And it's going to keep going. So I can decide to skip. So, that's probably the best global. If you did want to do a global spell check, that's going to pick up all keynotes that are in Legends. It would pick up all views and all sheets. And you might have specific text on a sheet that maybe is not located within a view, right? It may be just annotation text on a sheet that we'd want to review. So that's probably the best way to do that. And then, like I said, any particular item, you can specify that you can, in this case, this is a sheet view, you can zoom to the element and you can see where the issue is and review that very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. You can, at any time, you can always say stop, and that's going to stop the spell check selection. And then you can see that in this case, I only checked 203 values out, and that I made 0 element modifications, and I added 0 words to the dictionary. So pretty self-explanatory of being able to review the Ideate spell check and, like I said, do this on sort of a master list of views and sheets within your project. But that's a great question. Any other questions, Naveen?
Someone's asking that they have a list of abbreviation. Is there a best way to add them all at once to a custom dictionary?
Yeah, so that's a great question. If you do have, the way I would do it is come over here to actually Revit, right? And go to options, go to spelling, and open up this, it's just a text file, right? And then just add things like, A-D, trying to think of other, uh, verify and field, BIF, and keep going, and then just hit, save when you're done. So just keep, listing all of these, and then that's your custom dictionary that would have all those abbreviations. So the next time you did a spell check with Ideate spell check, it would skip all those, topo service, A-D, VIF, whatever you've selected here. And then, of course, that dictionary, you can see where that's located, the directory location. That can be, a different location if you'd like.
Thank you. That's
All right.
perfect.
Yep. So with that, we are actually 15 minutes goes by very, very quickly. So I'm going to switch back here. Please take the survey. And if you're not an existing Ideate software customer and you'd like to try out Ideate apps, you can go to our website and you can download a fully function 30-day trial version of Ideate apps, which includes Ideate SpellCheck. So with that, I want to thank you for attending. Really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a good Friday afternoon.